Hello, this is the Betamax man. So I had a YouTuber, he was asking me how to get a tape out. Now he said that he has a Sony SL2300. So the 2300 has the same mechanism as this SLHFR30. It has the 711B chassis. The only difference is the cassette housing. So the cassette housing is a little bit different, but it still has this tooth belt that connects to the motor, which is, this is your clutch gear mechanism. So, because there's clutches in here. So he has a tape and it's stuck, and he wants to get it out. So this is going to be how you do that. So here's one thing that you want to do. First off, if your tape is threaded like this, all you want to do is this little gear right here. All you do is just move it until you can see how it's moving. So basically, yeah, your tape will be a little bit eaten, but you won't have to cut it, because he was saying, I think I'll just cut it. Well, you don't have to necessarily cut the tape. You can do this easily. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to move this up towards the back of the machine. So go this way. So I'm pointing that way. So what you want to do is you turn this gear right here where my thumb is. Just turn it, and what it'll do is unthread. Now he said that on his, the motor was spinning but nothing was happening. So if you do this method, it will get your tape out. And then I will talk to you here in just a minute on what might be happening to the machine. So we'll take it. We'll take the gear out. I think we'll just take the motor out to show you what might be happening. Is you probably got a broken gear, because they had the gears inside of this clutch assembly would break. The gear would either crack or the teeth would shear off. So after you're done, when it's done unthreading, so what you'll do is when you'll feel where it stops. See how you can feel how you get stopped. So now what you want to do is take your swing arm, push it that way, and then you can see that locks this gear, see? So now you can just move this gear and it'll allow you to get your tape out. So what you want to do is hold this, and with your other hand you want to move the tooth belt. So you want to pull the, see how I'm doing that? Have this finger over here and just maneuver make the belt go into that position, and it'll start to lift your tape. See how it's lifting it? See how it's lifting it? So it's going to lift your tape, and this is how you get it out. Now I'm having trouble because I'm trying to do it one-handed. See how it's coming out? and then you can push it out the rest of the way if you want to, but eventually it'll come out. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I have to use both hands because it's just too difficult. But just pull your, your thing up until, see, because it'll bring it in. And then if you go this way, it'll bring it in. Okay? So if you go the other way, it'll bring it out. Now, one of the issues we're having is we've got to open that door up. So bring it in into, you got to lift that door up. That door is supposed to lift up automatically, but so just lift that up like that. And your tape will come right out. Okay. So this is what you want to do, and that'll get your tape out. And you see how it came out without damaging it too badly? All I do is, for the beta tape, you want to hit there's a little thing on the side here. You can on beta, it's like right here. So put something up against that and you'll open up the flap. I'm going to use a key, for instance. So take a key, push, and that'll open that flap. And you can spool it back in. And there you go. Okay, so that's how you can get the tape out. So when you're done, when you're moving this gear, and after it's unthreaded, it'll stop. So then you have to have this arm has to be pushed over like that. And then, as I was showing in the video, pull your belt that way, and it'll start to take your cassette out. And make sure that your door flap comes up, because if the door doesn't come up like it's supposed to, your tape will be stuck and it won't move. So just make sure if this door is not lifting up, move your tape back in by going the other way. Lift your tab and make the tape go past. So that's how you can get it out. And that's how you get it out without doing too much damage. It was a lot easier on the 711 B3 chassis because they actually had a capstan that had a tooth belt on it that would drive the reels. And that one you can get a tape out without damaging it, because you can turn the reels and get the tape back in. But with the 711B chassis, you could take out the table motor, but you don't need to do that. So if you do these steps, you'll be able to get your tape out. Now, what I'm going to show you is that, so what we'll do is we'll take this mechanism out, and I'll show you the gear that breaks on these things. And if this gear breaks, you won't be able to get your tape out, because it'll just sit there and spin and do nothing. So, but you can still get your tape out by doing the method that I showed you. Unless that gear is really badly broken. But, so we'll go ahead and I'll pull the screws off and I'll show you underneath the mechanism. In fact, yeah, so let me get a screwdriver and let me put the camera at a better angle so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But I'm gonna pull the gear out and I'll show you what gear breaks on these, because usually when they so we'll just take the screws out here. There's 2 screws. Sometimes there's 2 screws. Sometimes there's 3 of them. And this one has 3 screws. Now there's another style where the there it is. Where it has a plastic cover, you know, and it doesn't have this tensioner arm. So some of them have the tension arm, some of them do not. But this is how the mechanism works. And it's kind of similar to the way an automatic transmission works. It has clutches and gears, and it moves to other gears to control things. Okay, so now we can just we'll pop off the clip here. Pop this clip off. Pull your tooth belt off. Okay. Now you got put your tooth belt off to the side there. Now you can pull this mechanism straight up and out. Now I have a shielding in the way, so I'm gonna need to remove the shielding before I can take that out. But we're gonna show you what happens. Now this particular one works, so I don't have to worry about this one because this one works. But yes, but we do gotta take the some of them have a shielding here, but most of them don't. I think the SL20 and the SL30 have that shield right here. So now this mechanism will come straight up and out. Okay, so let me show you what's going on. So what happens on these is this gear down here at the bottom. This is a metal gear, so this is a later model. They used to be plastic. This gear, on some of them, this gear is plastic. And the plastic gets brittle and it breaks. So what Sony did later on to correct the issue is they put a metal gear in there. And with that metal gear, it solved a lot of the issues that you're talking about. Because you're saying that it's the motor's spinning and it's making a noise, but nothing's happening. And that's because one of your gears, probably this gear down here, has broke. Another gear that does have an issue is up here. There's like 2. Let me show you. See if I can show you. So there's actually 2 gears underneath this gear. But basically what happens to these is the gear right here splits and it no longer does anything, or the teeth get sheared off. If the teeth get sheared off, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna do anything. So, but doing it by hand, it should still get your tape to come out. So that's what you want to do. Now, basically, there's a gear down here. So this gear touches another gear down here, and I can turn it by hand. See how I'm turning it? See how easily it's turning? That's what that gear does. It turns this. So just make sure that that gear is not broken or cracked. This gear down here is usually fine because it's a metal gear. So what was happening is this metal gear was going up against that plastic, and a lot of times, yes, it would shear the teeth off, or it would have a crack in there. So that's what happens. So that's one of the common problems that Sony had, and that's why Sony went to that metal gear to correct the situation, to make it so that that doesn't happen in the future. So basically this thing will go back down in there like this. So it'll go down in there. So it goes back down in there. I'll put my screws back in. So this arm has to go this way after it's unthreaded. And then this goes over here, and then it finishes the unloading cycle where it takes the tape out. When this switches over to there, it transfers the power to the cassette housing, and then the cassette comes out. So I'm pretty sure that you've got a problem with one of those gears, and that's why you have trouble. So that's why it's probably. He said that it was fine. He was saying that once he put this certain tape in, it's stuck in the machine. And a lot of times what will happen is the solenoid will get stuck, because this solenoid is supposed to move back and forth. Okay? So if this solenoid gets stuck, it'll jam the tape, and the tape won't come out. And I've had this happen on my SLH of 1000. I've had it happen a couple times. So, you know, just make sure that that gear is not broken. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws back in. So let me do that. We'll put the camera over here for right now. And I'm gonna put my screws back in. And what I'll do is I'll let you see one of these mechanisms in action. So I'll do a video and I'll show you how it works, you know, how it's working, how it's supposed to work. But yeah, it does happen with this particular chassis. This is not one of my favorite chassis. It's actually a kind of a somewhat of a poor design. But it wasn't one of Sony's best ideas, I'll tell you. But I hope this video kind of helps you out a little bit, and kind of shows you what happens, because this is a common problem with the 711 B chassis. The chassis that I really like was the 711 A and the 710, and there was the 711D. The 711D is a chassis that I liked. because it actually had individual, independent motors that would drive the take-up and supply. Take-up and supply reel had their own motor for the 711D chassis. Just got my screw fill. But yeah, so that definitely can happen. Also, another issue is that if that belt is too tight, it will make the loading process super slow. So just make sure that actually I got this thing on wrong. Gotta put the shielding back on properly. It's supposed to go over there. There we go. So I've been working on the beta machines for over 10 years now, so I can work on them in my sleep. And if you want me to, I can repair it for you. If you want to bring me your machine, I charge $30 an hour labor. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, depending on what's wrong with it. Most of the time, you can do it within about 2 hours. Unless it's something really labor intensive, like replacing a motor or something like that, or recapping a servo, or you know. So I'm gonna put this back. Put this back together so that I can show you how it's supposed to work. But yeah, you should be. This should help you. Now I gotta try to get this thing back in the right spot. There we go. My goal is to help people, so, you know, feel free to ask me any more questions that you may have. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll show you the mechanism. So what it's going to do is when the tape goes in, it's going to transfer power to this gear. So let me show you. Must have got something out of time. Yeah, so I actually had it out of time because you remember I was turning the gear to show you how it threads and unthreads. So this is how it's supposed to do. So basically what you want to do here is just follow the steps that I showed you. So when this ejects, see how it's gonna switch? See how it switched over to transferred power over here? So I'll let you see it again. Now watch. This arm is gonna swing over like that once it unthreads. So this is how the mechanism works. It's gonna switch, and it switches over, and it kicks it up, kicks the tape out. And also, if you if you come across issues and situations where the picture was there and then you put another tape in and there was no picture, that's going to be your heads. Your heads are dirty. So if you're having an issue with the picture not being there after you put in this one tape, then you got dirty heads. So you need to clean your heads. But anyway, I hope that this helps you with getting your tape out. And for those of you who like to see more details of how this mechanism works, let me know, because what I can do is I could do a video on taking this gear off, and I can expose all the gears, and I can explain it a little bit more. But basically it transfers power after it's done. See, and then it goes and it transfers the power. So you transfer the power, kicks it out. So that's what you want to do. So hopefully this video helps, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to get updated on new videos. So anyway, see you later. Bye bye.